this reward protrusion, when we are using it, when we are having this all the commands which are in diameters, or when they are given a diameter, at that time we'll be going for this reward protrusion command. So I'll be selecting this dimension. Okay, either we can select this protrusion like normal protrusion. First initially we have to create this, then after that this, then after that this one. I'll show both the methods. Okay, I'll show both the methods. First I'll be creating it with the normal reward protrusion. Here what I'm going to select, I'll be drawing a line which is having 15 mm. Okay, 15 mm, not 30 mm, 15 mm. Then after this, total length is 19 plus 36 plus. I hope all of you got why I have taken 36, not 35.5. Then plus 19 plus 10. Sorry, not 10, plus 19 mm. Okay. Then after this, I have to take 38 mm. So this is 38. So this is 30 mm. So 38 minus 30 will be giving us 8 mm totally. Okay, totally 8 mm will be given. And if I take it over here, this will be 4 mm, and this side is, it will be 4 mm. So one side it will be 4 mm, another side will be 4 mm. So 4 plus 4 will be giving us 80 mm, which is 8 mm extra than this 30 mm. So here I'm going to take which is having 4 mm. This will be 4 mm in dimension. Okay, 4 mm in dimension. Then after this, I'll be selecting 10 mm. Then here, once again, I have to select the 25 mm rod. So for that purpose, if I select this 38 mm, then this will be 25 mm. So total will be how much? It is 13 mm. So total dimension we are left out with is 13 mm. Here we will be having 13 mm. So it has to be divided by both sides. So here we are having some portion and here we are having some portion. And if we take both these two things or both of these things, then we'll be having 13 mm. So if we take these two dimension, it will be 13 mm. So one side it will be 6.5 mm and another side it will be 6.5 mm. So 6.5 mm, 6.5 mm will be giving us 13 mm. Okay, so that 13 mm I'm going to measure it over here. So from here I'll be drawing a line which is having 6.5 mm, 6.5 mm in downward direction. Okay, in downward direction. Then after this I'll be drawing some dimension, like length could be anything. Now I can take, because the dimension is not given, so here I'll be taking somewhat 30 mm. Okay, I'll be taking 30 mm. 30 mm also you can take, or 25 mm also you can take, or 20 mm also you can take. I'll be taking 20 mm. 20 mm also you can take, or 30 mm also you can take. You can take anything. Then once it is done, I'll be placing my line at the point or element symbol on this reference line of this plane only. Then after that I'll be joining it so that entire thing is connected now. Okay, then after this we'll be selecting this axis of revolution. I'll be selecting this as axis of revolution, and I am selecting this axis line as my axis for the rotation. I've drawn this diagram. Okay, then after that I'm going to specify this line as my axis of revolution. Here I have taken 36.0, not 36.5 mm. Okay, not 36.5 mm. So I'll be selecting this. Sorry, I'll be selecting this as axis of revolution. Then after this, I'll be clicking on this return. Now, directly clicking on this revolve 360 degree, we'll be getting this. So, okay, sorry, spigot part. Okay, we'll be getting this spigot part. In this way, you can create this spigot, or else you can create it by protrusion. So, whichever you find it easy, you can do it. I'll show that method also. I've created this with the revolve protrusion now. Okay. Now the same thing I'm going to create it with protrusion command. I'm going to delete this revolve protrusion. I'm going to delete it, and after this I'm going to create it once again with the revolve protrusion. Sorry, I'll be creating it with protrusion command. Now, when you are taking protrusion command, at this time you should not select the front view, or you should not select this top view. Top plane or front plane should not be selected. Right plane should be selected. Earlier you have created with the right plane, because we have placed this axis line, or the center line on this horizontal plane. Then after that we have created a horizontal plane. If you see that, you can see it here. We have created it exactly at the center over here. Okay, like this. If we go to this top view also, you can see that at the center we have created it. Whenever you are selecting this word protrusion, at that time you can go for this particular line. Now, if I want to create it with protrusion command, normal protrusion command, then I have to create it in segments. First segment will be this one, then after this, then after that third part will be this. So it is left to you which command you will be using. I will be showing that protrusion command also. If you find it easy, this protrusion command, then you use protrusion command, because the calculation in the protrusion part, or creation with the protrusion command, will be comparatively less compared to this revolve protrusion. Here you have to calculate a lot, because you have to go with this all the things. You have to uh, what is that? You have to reduce it by 2 times, so that you will be getting it all the dimensions over here. Instead of 30 mm, you have to take 15 mm. Then after that, you have to convert this into 38, then minus 30. Then that has to be divided once again 4 mm. Then once again you have to calculate 38 minus 25. Then you have to divide it. So 6.5. So if you can calculate all those things, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can directly go with this protrusion command. And if you select protrusion command, just select this right profile plane, then create a circle which is having 30 mm diameter. It's over. Okay, it's over. So you have created this part. So it will be asking you what kind of diagram you want to create. At that time, what you can do is, instead of taking this uh, the dimension, you can directly mention, because here whenever you are selecting this dimension, you should be knowing that this tapered cut is 36.5 rather than the total length. So here it is 36.5. If you select this 36.5, then it will be 0.5 mm extra will be created. If you select 35.5 mm as your dimension, because that dimension is given in this diagram, then this diagram will be short of zero point 0.5 mm dimension. So this total length, it will be reduced. Instead of that, as it is given that from center to center it is given. So here you have to select 19. Then after that you should be knowing what is there in this particular portion, which I have shown you that at 15 mm travel, this will be 0.5 mm extra. So this will be 36. So whenever you are taking selecting width, at that time you should select 19 plus this dimension, not this one or this one. You have to select 36, then plus 19. So the total dimension will be 19 plus 36 plus 19. Sorry, it should be 19. Okay, 19 plus 36 plus 19 it should be. So total it is 74 mm. So now you are going to click on this finish option. Once this protrusion is created, once again you will be creating another protrusion over on this particular face, rear face of this Spigot rod. You will be selecting that. You will be creating this cap. So that cap will be having how much dimension? This will be having 38 mm. So you will be creating, sorry, you'll be selecting circle, then after that you'll be selecting diameter as 38 mm. Once again you have to keep it in the center like this. You have to keep it in the center, then click on this return option. Then the distance between distance of this or the dimension of this uh, cap is 10 mm. Okay, and here you should not select symmetric extent. Instead of that you have to select this non-symmetric extent only, and it should be 10 mm. Okay, like this here, sir. You have to extrude it outside, not in the inside. The protrusion has to be done outside. So here you'll be creating the protrusion. Okay, the protrusion is created. Oh. I have to create one parallel plane over here. I'll be selecting this face protrusion, and after this I'll be creating my protrusion over here. Okay, I should have created that cap itself as my first entity while selecting this protrusion. I'll create that cap only initially, then after that I'll create that another 38 mm rod. Okay, then here I'll be selecting the front face of this, and I'll be creating my 30 mm circle over here, which is having 19 plus 36 plus 19 mm, which is nothing but it is uh, what is that, 74 mm. 74 mm dimension will be given. Then after this the final diagram, I'll be selecting this, and after this I'll be selecting this the circle command once again, and after this I'll be specifying it as 25 mm. Okay, 25 mm. I'll be selecting it, and I'll be giving some dimension like 30 mm or 20 mm. I'll be giving 20 mm, or last time I was given 20 mm, right? Now I'll be giving 30 mm, because as it is unknown dimension, you can create it with any dimension. Like if you want to give 30 mm or 20 mm, 25 mm, whichever you want, you can keep it. So these are the two methods to create that this Spigot. Like you can go with the revolved protrusion command also. At that time, only one protrusion will be there. If you create it with three protrusion, like protrusion, normal protrusion command, then three protrusions will be there. But when you are selecting this protrusion command, normal protrusion command, then calculation will be very less. You don't have to calculate. You directly have to take this dimension, you have to create it. When you are selecting the revolved protrusion, at that time you have to select it with, you have to calculate all this what is that dimensions, like instead of this 30 mm, all the things which are normal to or which are perpendicular, the dimensions which are perpendicular to the axis line, that has to be reduced by two times, or it has to be divided by 2. So at that time only you can get all the dimension, and even this dimension also you have to should know that it is 13 mm. Then after that you have to divide it by 2. So it is left to you whether you want to go with this normal method, the protrusion method, or revolved protrusion method. That is left to you. But if you know, if you can, if you use revolved protrusion command, then you should be knowing that the time taken for the creation will be less compared to the protrusion command. But the thing is that when you are using revolved protrusion command, if you make some mistake in the revolved protrusion command, then edit option will be not that much easy compared to this protrusion command. Okay, so it is not easy. Here I can select this dimension. If I want to change this 30 mm instead of 30 mm, if I want to change it to some other dimension, I can go over here and I can change it, and I can edit the profile. Like this one can be changed to some 38 instead of 38 mm. I can make it 35 mm. Okay, directly select this. If I select it, if I make it 35, then it will be changed. Whereas that won't be easy in the revolved protrusion command. Okay, it won't be easy in the revolved protrusion command. There you have to create it separately, like you have to calculate it once again and you have to do it. So for that purpose, you decide which dimension you want to keep it. Okay, which uh, in which way you want to keep it, from which method you want to create it, that you only decide it. Okay, then after this we have to create this taper. Now we have created this part, but in this part we have to create it which is having some dimension of taper of 1 is to 30. So for that you have to select uh, the cutout option, normal cutout option, as it is trapezoid in nature, in the shape. So now I'll be selecting front view, and from here I'll be drawing my straight line. Like this I'll be drawing my straight line. And after this I'll be selecting distance between command. From here to here I'll be selecting the dimension as 19 mm. Okay, and as it is given in this dimension, it is 19 mm, so I'll be selecting it as 19 mm. Here I'll be drawing a line which is having 35.5. Okay, and here I'll be drawing a line which is having 36.5. Then after that I'll be joining it over here. If I select this distance between command from this point, from the midpoint of this line to this line itself, then it should come 19. But if I select, see here, if I select it over here and this line, then this will be 19.5 mm. And if I select it from this point and the point and this line, then this will be 18.5 mm. So that's why I was telling you should not select 36.5 mm, not 35.5 mm. You should select 36 mm only. Okay, at the midpoint only you have to select it. Now as we have selected this dimension, keeping it over here, This will be 36.5 mm. Now we can return, we can go for the return option. Then after that, the distance of that or the dimension of that slot will be 7.5 mm, which is given in the top view. Okay, it is 7.5 mm, and we have to select symmetric extent, not non-symmetric extent. We have to select symmetric extent, which is 7.5 mm. Now I can select this and I can go with this top view. I can see that whether it is perfectly created or not. This has been created, but the round operation is not done. So to perform the round operation, we have to go over here in the diametric diagram. Then I'll be selecting visible and hidden edges. Then after this, I'll be selecting or I'll be zooming in using zoom command. Okay, over here I'll be zooming this and I'll be selecting my round operation command and I'll be pressing control. I'll be selecting all the edges over here, all these things, all these lines. Radius will be 3.75, which is nothing but 7.5, half of 7.5, but I'll be showing it as 7.5 divided by 2. Okay, 7.5 divided by 2, and here I'll be selecting edge bar corner. You can see that it is 3.75 now. Okay, 75 mm. Then I'll be clicking accepting this round operation. Now we can go for the P option. Then after that, the round operation it's happened. I'll be going with once again shaded with visible edges. Then after this, I'll be going to top view, whether it is looking like that or not. Now you can see that this has been performed over here. It has been performed here. You can see that now it's kind of elliptical in shape, and also the tapered is taper view. You can see that taper view over here. You can see that tapered cut over here. Okay, now still we are having the round over here and round over this point, and even this round over in this point. So to create those rounds, we have to go to this once again diametric mode. Then after this, I'll be selecting round operation, and before that I should be knowing what is the dimension over here. What is the dimension over here? All the round and fillets which are not mentioned, I hope you can see that all unmentioned fillets and rounds are having 3 mm radius. So you have to select round operation. You have to select this round operation. You have to select this edge by pressing Ctrl, then this edge, then this edge, and the radius should be mentioned as 3 mm, and also it should be edge and corner. And click on this round accept option. Now we can go for the preview option, and we can select it in front view like this. Okay, then shaded visible edges, you can see that whether the operations are carried out or not. See here we are having round over here, and even rounded this point. So it has been created now. Now I'll be keeping it in shaded edges, and after that I'll be selecting it diametric mode only. Now the Spigot, it is hand moved from. So I'll be selecting, go to tools, and I'll be going to tools and material table. Then here I'll be directly clicking on this FE410W because we have already created it and we have added it to library. So I'll be selecting that material, then I'll be applying it to the model. Okay. Now the color of this diagram it is changed a little bit bluish. Then after that I'll be going to file, then I'll be selecting this file properties. Then in that summary I'll be writing it as Spigot. Okay, I'll be writing it Spigot of Spigot. Then author I'm going to mention it as STG. Then I'll be clicking on this OK, and after that once again I'll be saving it. I'll be saving it in the folder which I've already created. So we today we have created second part which is Spigot. Okay, so I'll be saving it. Okay. So once I save this, it can be called the in the parts library. From the parts library it can be called in the assembly environment. So now if you are having any doubt regarding this, you can ask me. Otherwise you can put your attendance. Okay, you can put your attendance in the chat box, and if you are having any doubt regarding anything, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me the doubt. Okay, put your attendance in the chat box. If anybody is having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can put your attendance, and after that you can leave. Okay.